Z, Alan and Key in with you this morning. So let's begin, Key, with your favorite team,
The
Los
Lakers.
Angeles Lakers.
The Lakers.
And let's listen to Carmelo Anthony, who is part of the new Lakers, the new look Lakers, who added some pieces, including Russell Westbrook, of course, but Melo being also another player that they added, a well-known superstar player, 37 years old. It's amazing to think that Melo's that old. And he is finally teaming up with LeBron James. He and LeBron, who were part of that big draft class, they were part of, obviously, the core of superstars in the NBA through the first 15 years, 20 years of this century. So you've got guys like Melo, you've got Dwight Howard, you've got Trevor Ariza, you've got Marc Gasol. This is an older group. And Melo was asked if there's some concern about the LAARP Lakers.
Different time, different game, more resources than guys had years ago when we first came into the game. I think just the concept and the seriousness behind taking care of yourself, like we really understand what that means from a holistic standpoint, the mind, body, and soul. Like we are there at that point of our career where, you know, we understand the importance of what it means to take care of your body, what it means to take care of your mind. And in this situation, experience comes into play, understanding one another, you know, whereas if all of us would have came together early on in our career, we probably wouldn't have had the same understanding as we're going to have right now. I think we're all ready to just take on whatever role that is that all of us need to do and need to take on in order to reach that ultimate goal, which we all know what that is at this point.
Where's Monica McNutt? Where is she with her balance and wellness? Mind, body, and soul. Melo has talked about he's dramatically changed his diet. He's trying to prolong his career, as you know. Can this work, Keith?
Absolutely.
Oh, of course it is. You're a Laker fan. You're going to say it's going to work.
This could be. You can take all them and put them on the Knicks. I say the same thing. You can put them on a lot of different teams. I say the same thing. But when you start to look around the league and you're looking at teams that can challenge them, everybody has older guys. Everybody that's good, have older guys.
It's always been that case.
And so I don't see what the big deal is that these guys may be long in the tooth. They can still go and they can still play. We missed Dwight Howard so much a year ago. That's why we brought him back.
I thought Dwight was very good for the Sixers. I think he's found his niche and what he's is now in the second part of his career when he was once an MVP, or once a Defensive Player of the Year, a great rebounder, a great player. He's no longer that, but he's still a very serviceable player now in the NBA.
Let me ask you this as my basketball guy right now. Were the Lakers good last year?
Yeah.
Is this team better?
Yes.
So what's the problem?
No. I am. First of all,
why even ask me that question?
I don't have the issue.
And then when I give you the answer, you get mad at me and say, "Of course you would say that." You ask me a question, I give you the answer, and it's not the answer you don't like. No, you're just like a reporter.
I'm not mad at you. What do you think, though, of Melo and LeBron teaming up? And Melo said that LeBron basically said to him, "It's time. Now is the time." And he said that it was time to make it happen. That he said to him, "I want you on the Lakers." There were other times LeBron could have reached out to Melo saying, you know, let's get him here. The one time Melo wasn't in the league, remember, he was out for half a season.
Everybody was telling LeBron
didn't
to push for it.
Yeah, and LeBron didn't bring him
because
in.
it wasn't time.
Now it's time. And Melo said we were on different paths earlier in our careers, but now is the right time.
And it is the right time. And LeBron signed off on it, which when you have a star player like that, he should sign off on it. And I think when you look at where Melo was at, like Melo said, and where LeBron was at, they were on two different paths. Well, now they come together collectively to try to bring another championship to LA, which I'm okay with. We saw Melo last year. We saw what that was. We like, okay, he's a role player. He's a role player who can play.
But a very serviceable player.
Yeah, and not going to cause, as people would say, the headaches or the concerns that people had with him in Denver when he played in Denver, or even here in New York where people felt like there was some issues with Melo then. You're not going to get that in LA. He's on a team with LeBron.
And clearly what Melo's doing here is chasing a championship, which
As he should.
I have no problem with. So one of his quotes was, "This is the one thing I'm missing. This is the thing that keeps me up at night, that motivates me because I don't have it," meaning a championship. George Karl retweeted this. SportsCenter tweeted that quote out. George Karl retweets it. Remember his coach from the Denver Nuggets.
Yeah.
And George Karl said, "And it kept our coaching staff up at night a decade ago when we were stressing the importance of team play and defense." How petty can you be?
That's trolling him.
He got you to a conference final and you lost to Kobe's Lakers in a championship year. There's nothing to be upset about. That Denver Nuggets team went really far with
Blame Melo, huh? I guess.
He's just having fun with it, but okay. But meanwhile, also in the NBA, as we continue with A to Z on KJZ, Luka Doncic, at 22 years old, just signed for $207 million.
That's it?
Over 5 years. It's the Supermax rookie extension. He's the first to do it, to be eligible for it. Twice first-team All-NBA. That's what made it happen. So for Bill Duffy, the agent, this is a big, big day for him, as well as for Luka.
When you say the first to do it
because it's the rookie –
Supermax.
It's the rookie Supermax, which means you'd have to A, stay with your team, B, twice All-NBA, and he's first-team All-NBA. So that's, that's a rarity.
Because typically they would get the Supermax what year? Like year 7, 8, somewhere in there?
Yeah. But what I mean is that he's in his third year.
I understand. That's what I said. Usually
and he's been first-team All-NBA already. He's that guy.
So he can get the Supermax again and again.
Oh, yeah, if he stays with – this can keep going if he stays in Dallas. Now, the Lakers have loaded up. They're trying to win a championship. Golden State wants to make another run at it. You've got this guy now for 5 years at $200 million. Mark Cuban, as we know, is not afraid to spend money. He is a guy that the whole league, you saw the respect that he has now from his peers. He's a guy that the superstars all go, that guy can play. He's good. So can Dallas become a contender while Luka's there? Because you think they should be able to attract players. But do you see them, at the end of this deal, will they be a team that is contending for a championship? LeBron's not going to be in the league at the end of this deal.
I don't know if they can draw somebody to Dallas in free agents.
Why not?
I just don't know.
To play with him?
I think it's
great market, great owner, great player.
I don't think it's as much. I lived in Dallas.
Yeah.
And it's different, man. It's a different city. It's fun. It's just a different city. And free agents like to go to places, bigger cities on the outskirts, the New Yorks, the LA.
They want the coast.
They want kind of the coast is the way that I look at it. It's hard for me to envision somebody going to Dallas unless the sales pitch is just crazy. Now,
or they're from Texas, which has great players.
J. Kidd is there, so that could add something. Nico is there from Nike. That could add something.
Nico Harrison, right?
Yeah, that could add something to it. I mean, it could be an interesting.
Doesn't Mark Cuban also play into this? I think Mark Cuban has to be. First of all, we know the guy is not afraid to spend. He is willing to pay for a championship. He's done it once already. I think he's a pretty popular owner amongst players. I don't think there's a lot of players that have a problem with him. I think that's a guy that
have a problem with it.
If you want to play for somebody, that's a guy I want to play for.
Yeah, I don't know though, man. Because if I had a chance to go somewhere else other than Dallas, I might do that.
All right, before we tie this up though, listen to Woj. Woj is on SportsCenter because when you think about Luka and how important he is, I think to the league now, because he's going to be when LeBron moves on. I think Luka's the guy, face of the league type. By the way, his peers respect him. Listen to how Woj said. The priority of getting Luka signing this extension this summer, what type of priority was it for the Mavs?
Priority number 1, 2, 3, 4. This was it. And I think they certainly had confidence, that Luka wanted to sign the deal, that he's committed in Dallas. There's a lot more to be done. They've gotten to the playoffs twice. He's had some historic performances in the postseason against these two series with the Clippers. But they're trying to put more pieces around him, get Kristaps Porzingis back playing at a high level. They re-signed Tim Hardaway formally today. But Luka Doncic, listen, this is not just an organization that's building itself around Luka Doncic. This is a league that is going to largely be built around his star power.
And that's why I feel the same thing. I think this guy internationally, what he did with Slovenia, who'd never been to the Olympics, I mean, they had a chance to win bronze. They were 1 point from going against the Americans for gold. A great block by Batum of France stopped that. But Luka had a fantastic Olympics. This is not a face of the league guy. This is a face of the game guy in the world, or at least could be at the age of 22. And so it was huge for Dallas. Now you hear Kristaps Porzingis, Tim Hardaway Jr. Those guys are good players, but to win a championship, they're going to have to upgrade that. And I'm just curious to see if they can get it done in that amount of time. All right, that is certainly big news in the NBA. Big money, no doubt about that as well. 888-SAY-ESPN, 888-729-3776 is the number as we were talking back into the NFL stuff about the threats to the Chiefs, to the Bucks. Who would be the biggest threat to the Bucks in the NFC? We'll get your calls going certainly on that. But coming up next, Deshaun Watson's back at practice, and what does that